The flags at halftime. This is always it.
You think you played first?
Pass.
He may be winless, he may have played poorly, but I think we all love Cam Ward. It's the confirmation to the reporter that I really love by Ward.
Pass.
Welcome to week 4 of the NFL's real winners and losers. I'm football knower Brandon Perna. Only the Eagles and Bills remain undefeated. Jackson Dart and the Giants upset the Chargers. There are just 3 winless teams thanks to the Jets and Dolphins Monday night sideshow. The Packers and Cowboys tied on Sunday night, proving once and for all the Micah Parsons trade was just as even as the Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff trade. They may be 2-2, but the Bengals are going to compete for a top 3 draft pick at this rate. Ireland got a heavy dose of the Steelers BS. But before I reveal the winners and losers, we have the block 10 plays. 10 plays, so
Pass.
not even the Cowboys would tie them. Blop 10, the look the ref gives JSN for saying this is bullshit. That's the look a kid gets when dad can't discipline you properly because too many people are around. Just be thankful you didn't have to spend a night alone with this terrifying Cardinals fan, JSN. Blop 9, Aaron Rodgers fumbled directly to his offensive lineman for the first down. This is what it looks like when you try and tap the slide button and accidentally hit the lateral button in Madden instead. Madden needs to add an express gratitude feature when your teammate bails you out. Flop 8, Jeffrey Simmons sacks CJ Stroud before he can even drop back. If you recall, Troy Polamalu has arguably the fastest sack in NFL history on former Titans quarterback Jake Locker. You know, at least Troy Polamalu had to do something to get his sack instead of just going straight. Blob 7, you know what they say. If you've got 2 open wide receivers, you really don't have any open receivers. Maybe they say that about quarterback competitions. I don't know, but this might have been the first time all season CJ Stroud had enough time to see 2 open players. So I don't blame him for not knowing what to do in that situation. Blop 6, Cole Kmet drops a pass that hits him in the face in the red zone. In a weird way, I think this is progress for the Bears because last year I am positive this would have resulted in an interception. It is not progress, though, for the 49ers. And if you don't want to be a blop, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thought we could hit 800,000 subs by the end of September. Today is the end of September. We're back on track to underachieving here at That's Good Sports, but maybe we can get close today. Blop 5, Azeez Al-Shire continues to try and decapitate quarterbacks, and he actually got away with it this time. You know, what's weird to me is I could have sworn Azeez was a Colt.
Let's go fetch this football throw, fellas. Love sports.
Blop 4, Patrick Mahomes runs 2 yards past the line of scrimmage and then runs back trying to throw the football. I haven't seen a Chief put it in reverse and escape like that since Rashee Rice. Blop 3, don't ask Ben Johnson a rhetorical question, ever.
You need to change what you're doing.
I don't know, you think so? We're gonna be just fine.
Everybody loves to hate sideline reporters for getting nothing out of coaches until they actually get something, right? Interesting. Great work, Aditi. Blop 2. If this were the early 2000s, the Blop 10 would be called You Got Jacked Up. And this week, poor Matthew Golden would be number 1 after trying to hit the spin cycle about 1 second too early on a punt return. Speaking of Golden, I think I'd rather be on the wrong end of a golden shower than take a hit like Golden did here. Blop 1, after making a ridiculous catch, A.D. Mitchell picked the wrong time to mimic Jonathan Taylor. Matthew McConaughey was wrong. It turns out time is not, in fact, a flat circle. It's a blue horseshoe. And Blob 0, Jared Verse may have acquired Aaron Donald's strength after working out with him just once this offseason. He bulldozes Colts center Taylor Bortolini as the Rams attempted to collect their Danny Dimes. Guys, am I getting good at prize picks? I think I got my 6th win of the season, thanks to Micah Parsons finally getting that sack, and he needed overtime to do it, but I hit again. I've won 6 times. If you want to play along with me over at Prize Picks, use my code TGS when you sign up. Link is in the description. Thank you guys for following me on Prize Picks. Your names as you sign up, I'm seeing them. We got Amon Ra, St. Brown in there. And we even got Jones. And we are 21 signups away from my next big bonus. Code TGS if you want to sign up and play at Prize Picks. Back to Thursday. Losing connection, Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison. Banking on those two to be consistent in the passing game is like banking with Chiefsaholic. 2 of Kyler's passes to Marvin resulted in picks. Marvin bobbled one that landed in Seattle's hands. The other pick he just gave up on a route, and Kyler now has 6 interceptions when targeting Marvin Harrison. Kyler would probably have more success at this point targeting Larry Fitzgerald in the retirement home. Despite fumbling the ball right back to the Cardinals after the first interception, in what resulted in the most complicated 5-yard gain ever, Seattle controlled the game for 3.5 quarters. Marvin Harrison eventually got a redemption touchdown, and we had a tie game with less than a minute to go. Losing knuckleball, usually reserved for my in-depth baseball analysis, is now an NFL tool. The Cardinals were penalized for not kicking into the landing zone, which gave Sam Darnold the ball on the 40. Seattle needed just 26 yards on 4 plays and 28 seconds to get our winning sniffer onto the field to blast the game-winning kick down the gooch. Losing tourism, Dublin, Ireland. Skylar Thompson, who is on IR, was jumped on Friday after the Steelers landed in Ireland. Gonna be hard to identify the assailants though, considering they all wear the same goddamn hats over there. Maybe the great people of Ireland didn't take kindly to a queen trying to rule in their land again. I don't know. Minnesota lost 2 starting linemen during the game, including Ryan Kelly, who suffered his 4th TUA since 2023, meaning they were without 3 starters on the line. Backup QB Carson Wentz was sacked 6 times and threw the ball to the wrong team twice, including a gift to TJ Watt. The Steelers controlled most of the game. Kenneth Gainwell rushed for a couple TDs. DK Metcalf had 122 yards by halftime, most of his career and a half. And I think we're starting to take Dan Campbell's giant balls for granted. Losing decisions, Mike Tomlin at the end of this game. First, he doesn't take a field goal with 4 minutes left in a 10-point game. Maybe he was scared Vikings corner Isaiah Rodgers would block it again. Then Tomlin elected to punt on 4th and 1 with a minute left in the game.
It's a no-brainer. Man, you're going to choose to give the ball back to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
Which, if you were playing any quarterback not named Wentz, may have cost him the dub. Despite 2 Steelers penalties and a near interception that was bobbled out of bounds, Wentz still found time to throw it to Pittsburgh to end the game. So why was Minnesota within 3 to tie? Losing coverage with the game on the line, the Pittsburgh secondary forgot to cover Jordan Addison, who's getting my losing wheels. And not just because his license was revoked after that DUI. Jordan Addison got chased down from behind. First the police, now Peyton Wilson. Jordan Addison officially can't outrun anyone. Winning speed, though, goes to the fastest white in the NFL, Steelers linebacker Peyton Wilson, who clocked a speed of 22.48 miles per hour. No linebacker has run that fast in the next-gen stats era. I don't even care that a white corner didn't get a pick this week. I have Peyton Wilson. Winning rule? I had no idea you could horse collar tackle a quarterback inside the pocket. I would just do that every play then if I were a defender. Loser, Aaron Rodgers, for being too old or maybe homophobic to let his teammates push his tush. You ever seen Matt Gay kick on an Aaron Rodgers team? Me neither. Just saying.
Feeding some hungry butts.
Losing coach, Brian Callahan. I think most of us could have stomached a Titans loss had their offense with the number 1 overall draft pick at quarterback scored any points. Instead, we watched Tennessee run out the clock on their own 26-0 shutout defeat. But hey, at least Cam Ward gives us one cool throw per game. That's all you're getting all season, Titans fans. One cool throw per game. Why is Cam Ward's most effective throw the most dangerous throw in football? I don't know. Ward was 10 for 26 passing for 108 yards and a pick, getting my losing completion percentage. Cam Ward with a 38.5, which made even Anthony Richardson nauseous.
I mean, if we keeping a buck right now, we ass. So at this point, we got nothing to lose. We dropped a quarter of our fucking games, and we've yet to do anything. So
as funny as this prank was by the Texans mascot, do Titans fans really deserve this? What do you think of this prank, Cam?
ass.
Yeah. Losing trash talker L'Jarius Sneed, who pretended to not know who Nico Collins was earlier this week.
Nico Collins this week. Who? Nico.
Nico got him for this 37-yard reception and was the Texans' leading receiver. I do normally love this kind of confidence and trash talk, but not when you're an 0-3 team who becomes an 0-4 team.
I guess he knows who Nico Collins is now.
That's who.
Losing virgins, the Texans, who finally broke their winless cherries this season. And besides that one time they forgot to block Jeffrey Simmons, CJ Stroud was protected pretty well in this game, sacked just once outside of that. CJ looked better, he hit both of his rookies for scores, and I tracked a group of winning rookies this week. Starting in Houston, it's Jaden Higgins with his first touchdown reception on a 24-yard grab. Houston may also have found their lead back as Joquavius Marks, a.k.a. Woody Marks, rushed for 69 yards, a TD, and caught one as well. And now that I've mentioned him, it's as good a time as ever to remind you all that the Texans have both a Chubb and a Woody in their backfield. More winning rookies. Falcon safety Xavier Watts
caught his second career interception.
Saints safety Jonas Sanker, first interception as well, and it's a rare one coming off the arm of Josh Allen. That was the Bills' first turnover all season. And I just hope this is what Jonas Sanker said when he got the pick.
Jonas Sanker.
Travion Henderson, first career TD. Now that he's on everyone's fantasy bench. Omarion Hampton had his first 100-yard rushing game with the long TD run, in addition to another angry runs contender, but it came in a loss to our final winning rookie, Jackson Dart, who in his first start got his first win, upsetting the undefeated Chargers. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't pretty, but Dart got the job done, damn it. Dart threw one touchdown, went for 111 yards through the air, and ran for 54 and scored a rushing TD on his opening drive. With the win hanging in the balance, he and the offense drained enough clock to force the Chargers to request another miracle from the football gods, who said, how much goddamn help do you assholes need this year from me? Dart received a very rare achievement, getting the winning game manager in his NFL debut. Dart was also sacked 6 times in his victory, which is some real Joe Burrow type shit when you think about it. Losing turf, MetLife Stadium, who took out 2 key players in the first. Malik Neighbors tore his ACL early. The Chargers played without Joe Alt, who left on a cart with an ankle injury. Both teams were down a significant offensive player, but the Giants never acquiesced an early lead. They led the entire game, actually. Dart wasn't too impressive through the air, but the Chargers are a tough outing for any quarterback right now, and let's see if Dart can build on that. And the most impressive thing Dart accomplished, the rarest achievement he unlocked?
A big shout out to Russ. This week probably wasn't the easiest thing, but he handled it like a professional, and obviously just have a ton of respect for him. And
that's right, being a teammate of Russell Wilson and complimenting him. Choke on that, Richard Sherman. Losing fans, all of us not getting to see Dexter Lawrence score. We nearly had a pre-diabetic fat guy tip 6. Sexy Dexy was just 2 yards away from scoring on this rubbly, stibble turnover. And I don't think I'll ever forgive Justin Herbert for tackling him. Winning special teamer, the Patriots' Marcus Jones, who finished with 167 punt return yards, including an 87-yard barn burner. Jones nearly broke one again on this 61-yard return. Drake May was incredibly efficient, just 3 incompletions on the day, 203 passing with 2 TDs, and a very Superman-like rushing touchdown. Most importantly, the Patriots didn't fumble a single fucking time while blowing out the Panthers 42-13. 13. My losing team, safe to say it's Carolina at this point. I have no idea how you shut out the Falcons last week and then followed that up by losing by 29 points. When we, as a society, reflect upon the 2025 football season, we're going to all say, wait, how the fuck did the Panthers beat the Falcons 30-0 week 3? Milton Williams is so scary, Bryce Young fell down without getting touched. Falling down without getting touched is how I would describe the Panthers as a team. The Buccaneers finally lost. No shame in losing to the undefeated Eagles. And I'm going to go outside the box this week for the Joe Burrow Award, which of course goes to the player who, no matter what he does, his team loses. This week, it's actually Bucky Irving, who had 165 total yards and a TD, 5 receptions for 102 yards and 63 rushing yards as well. I could have given it to Baker, kinda, who had 2 70-plus yard touchdowns, including an absolute FDR to Egbuka, who has his 3rd touchdown in 4 weeks. But Baker took a risk that didn't pay off. He had his pass tipped that resulted in a Jihad Campbell interception in the end zone. It was a huge play for the Eagles defense late in the 4th, and Campbell has actually been pretty incredible in Philly this season. Losing running back, Saquon Barkley. Another game where Jalen Hurts outrushed you, Saquon. Come on, man. The only way you can score is on a fake tush push now? Which has to be the first time the tush push didn't rob Saquon of a TD. The fake tush push. Thinking you're getting the tush is hilarious. You know that thing you always wanted to try, honey? Yeah, we're still not doing that tonight.
Feeding some hungry butts.
That said, the Eagles were the most creative team this week. Both touchdowns to Dallas Goedert felt like some Andy Reid goal line specials. And yes, those do count as passing touchdowns for Jalen Hurts. I do admit, I think Ben Johnson's flea flicker was a better tricky play. Philly gets the win despite Jalen Hurts having a very losing stat of 0 passing yards in the second half. Until Philly loses, though, I'm not going to complain. It didn't matter, but the winning kick, a 65-yarder by Chase McLaughlin, that's officially the longest field goal in NFL history for someone not facing at least 16 allegations of sexual misconduct. Winning stat, Eagles kicker Braden Mann, who finished with a negative 34 yards on 1 carry when he ran out the clock by running out the back of the end zone. The Michael Penis Jr. Award, which goes to the player who rose to the occasion, is going to the Jaguars defense, who forced 4 turnovers against the 49ers, including a game ender. Jacksonville has forced at least 3 turnovers in every game this year. That's diabolical, and this team has needed every single one. Devin Lloyd was playing out of his goddamn gourd. He is the winning defender. He had 2 interceptions in this game and hit Brock Purdy on that final play, adding a full extra inch to the Michael Penis Award for his performance. And it's always impressive when you can add an inch without a
Penix pump.
Initially, I thought Lloyd stripped Purdy, but in maybe my most fitting revenge dagger moment, 'twas former 49er Eric Armstead who knocked it loose. What a stand by the defense who did that after Cam Little gave the 49ers a little hope with a miss on a 47-yard field goal. Winning drama, 49ers and Jaguars coaches. Old Bobby Saleh might think twice before accusing a team of legally stealing signals before they play next time. If Saleh and Liam Cohen got into a real fight, I am 100% taking Saleh in that match. Saleh is definitely kicking the sensitive guy's butt.
I didn't see what happened, so I'm not sure. Don't think you should be that sensitive about it, but it is what it is. Not too worried about it. Losing unit? The Jags passing offense. Dude, this team is getting carried by the defense, the run game, and special teams. Travis Etienne had a $124 and a touchdown. Etienne is 3rd in the league in rushing yards right now. Parker Washington went 87 yards on a punt return. Travis Hunter had a really impressive catch, but that's all I remember about their passing game, really. If they can get their shit together throwing and catching the ball, they're going to be maybe a dangerous team this year. Winning old guy, 39-year-old Thomas Morstead, who clocked 20.3 miles per hour trying to catch Parker Washington. Winning wheel, my curse wheel. Just like in the movies, the 4th version of Indiana Jones wasn't as good as the first 3.
I'm sorry you got cursed in power rankings last week, Colts fans. The good news is Indy beat themselves. Is that good news? I think so, because it can be fixed, and the Rams are a good team. The 80 Mitchell fumble celebration was Blop 1, of course, but his next gap also hurt. The Colts have a second touchdown taken away when Jonathan Taylor's 53-yard tud was negated because of holding on, yes, Adonai Mitchell. Look, I do not condone the curse wheel cursing specific players, but it might have singled out A.D. Mitchell, and it 100% cost the Colts the game. The winning receiver, Puka Nacua, again, 170 yards on 13 catches, and he had a touchdown. He's the leading receiver in the league by over 100 yards, and that was his first receiving touchdown of the year. He had a rushing touchdown week 2. Winning throw? Yeah, singular. The game was tied at 20. Matthew Stafford had 2 minutes to put together a game-winning drive. Instead, as an old-ass man who just wanted to get home and go to bed, he took 10 seconds and fired an FDR to Tutu Atwell for a game-clinching 88-yard touchdown. A very clutch one-play drive, and the Colts only had a very cursed 10 men on the field on that play.
He just clicks his heels together. It's like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, Kevin, except he's not going home, he's going to the ground.
Cam Curl called game with his second pick in crunch time. The Ravens officially won the Bowl, proving they are more than KC. Winning QB, it brings me no pleasure to report that Patrick Mahomes has won his first winning quarterback award of the year. Not only did Mahomes throw the 250th touchdown of his illustrious and very annoying career, tragedy, it's going to be cut short, but he is certainly a Hall of Famer right now. He also went head-to-head with his fellow two-time MVP winner Lamar Jackson and thoroughly outplayed him in a game both teams needed to avoid dropping to 1-3. Mahomes only threw 3 touchdowns in his first 3 games, and he more than doubled that number, albeit against a defense that's legitimately and uncharacteristically looking like an injury-riddled defense, mind you, but bad nonetheless. Can you tell me how the Ravens played this week, Cam? Yeah, thank you. You do need an ass to shit the bed. If Lamar Jackson's hamstring injury is serious, it might be a while before you can clean those sheets. I know Derrick Henry has had some bad fumbles this season, but giving the guy who had 1,900 rushing yards for Baltimore last season 8 carries makes me want to say bad things about the Wire. And I love the Wire, but I want to hurt you, Baltimore. Kareem Hunt got more carries than Derrick Henry. Silly to ask Lamar to throw you to victory without putting the fear of Henry in the defense first. I am mad and disappointed in you, Ravens. Losing quarterback Geno Smith was so bad he probably cost Ashton Jeanty the winning running back and Max Crosby the winning defender awards. 3 interceptions, Geno? 3? Again? You've done that twice this year. 2 went to Kevin Byard and the 3rd to Tyreek Stevenson. You could only muster 117 passing yards against the Bears defense, Geno? Really? Really? The same one that Detroit shredded with 511 yards of offense? Geno Smith looked like Al Davis from the afterworld, Frankenstein, Jimmy Garoppolo, Andrew Walter, and Jamarcus Russell's worst skills.
Give my creation life!
You look like Jets Geno Smith, okay? You threw 3 picks in a game that you weren't even sacked, Geno. Now, despite Geno's efforts, I'm still actually giving Jeanty the winning running back. We've been hard on Jeanty to start the season because of his draft position, but he was nearly the reason the Raiders won. 3 total touchdowns for the former Boise Bronco, 2 receiving TDs, and 1 rushing to go along with his 116 yards, which came on just 12 carries. This was the sloppiest game on Sunday by a wide margin. The Raiders lost a fumble when Jeanty was blasted as soon as he took the ball. Geno fired an interception, and then Max Crosby tipped the ball back to himself for the pick, and that all happened in the first fucking quarter. And I swear, every time Red Zone cut to this game, Caleb Williams was being hit and recovering a fumble. Max Crosby was more than a problem for the Bears all game. He had so many bats, I thought I was watching Max Muncie. Rome Odunze got the Bears back into this one with a savvy touchdown grab over the middle. He made a huge catch to help Chicago take the lead on their final scoring drive, which was capped by a DeAndre Swift touchdown. And like last week, another game ended on a blocked field goal. It's official, guys. I think it's an epidemic. But for that block, let's take a look. I like to call this camera move from taint to touch. And it is as beautiful as it sounds. I'm a cinematographer. Ben Johnson is my winning psychopath.
You need to change what you're doing.
I don't know. You think so? We're going to be just fine.
Thanks, Ron.
Again, I think Rome wasn't built in an Odunze, and neither are Ben Johnson's Bears, but Chicago's 2-2. The Tua Tagovailoa Award.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Going to the guy who almost got it right. I haven't talked about him much this year, but now feels like a decent time to acknowledge that Spencer Rattler does in fact exist, and he has started all 4 games for the Saints. I wouldn't go as far to say that Rattler's been good, but I will say he's not the main reason the Saints are winless. He had a really tough task on the road in Buffalo and actually put up some good numbers, going 18-27 with the touchdown, no picks, 49 yards on the ground. Hell, he wasn't even the one that turned the ball over in the red zone. That was my most stimulating play, a pick by Chris Olave on a very ill-fated Philly special. Emphasis on special. If not for that play, I think the Saints might have had a chance. Not a chance to win or anything, but maybe a chance to lose in more dramatic fashion. Unfortunately, Mr. Rattler is now the 9th QB to lose his first 10 starts. And that sounds like a losing stat, but in reality, the fact that he's gotten 10 starts without winning shows you he's got more promise than the record and perhaps the stats would suggest. Only 5 more consecutive losses, and he'll catch one DeShone Kizer. He'll never catch Josh Allen, who now has 45 games with a rushing and passing touchdown. That's tied with Mr. Big Hat himself, Cam Newton, for 4th best all time. And I never thought Cam's hats were cool.
Who the fuck is Perna?
But Khalil Shakir's yak and tackle breaking ability? Cool shit. Not to be outdone, Dennis Allen's least favorite running back, Kendre Miller, broke exactly as many tackles as Shakir to tie the game. Safe to say, Miller finally learned how to practice. Cool shit. Can I see that Josh Allen run again? Cool shit! 2 seconds later, Josh Allen dimed up Dalton Kincaid. Cool shit. Did both McCaffrey brothers score this weekend? Don't ask me. I'm not some perv with secret camera set up in their bedrooms. Both McCaffreys scored touchdowns, which is cool shit. Luke McCaffrey scored a TD and found 58 yards on a kick return. Unfortunately for the Commanders, they ran into our winning rebounder, Michael Penix. Penix was pretty bad last week against Carolina, but decided to dice up the commies with 313 passing yards and a couple touchdowns. Kyle Pitts scored, Drake London scored, and Bijan Robinson had 106 receiving yards, 75 rushing yards to go with his TD, which was a spicy mustard, according to Ian Eagle.
Bijan with the mustard!
Who am I forgetting? Oh yeah, Tyler Algier, who scored a touchdown. Really nice offensive rebound for Atlanta after, again, playing like
ass
against Carolina last week. Cool.
Ass.
I changed it up there. Did Jared Goff exhibit a moment of dad strength? No. But he and Joe Flacco both completed exactly 16 passes with wildly different effectiveness and results. The Browns were in this game for the first 3 quarters. Joe Flacco has fulfilled his predecessor and his successor's shoes as he wins the Anti-Game Manager Award, aka the Jameis Winston Award. Joe Flacco threw the type of pick only pre-LASIK Jameis Winston would dare to throw. Who was Joe throwing to? Does he think he's still on the Broncos? That's the only way you can think it's okay to throw to blue or orange, Joe. Goff gave it right back, begging the Browns to beat Goff. And Deshaun Watson, of course, yelled from the sideline, "You know I'd go to jail if I beat off in public, you bastard!" The Lions ran away with it in the fourth. Your typical playmakers, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, St. Brown combined for 3 TDs, but it was another former Bronco, Khalif. Everybody loves to kiss Raymond and his death knell. His kiss of death punt return that may usher in the Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders era for the Browns. Also, what's the price to get kissed by an NFL player after a touchdown? I'll pay double, triple NFL. Knowing my luck, I'd get stuck kissing one of those women referees. Ugh. Losing satisfaction, Packers, Cowboys. Tying stat, the Packers are still undefeated at Jerry World. They may not have won every game in that stadium, but there's still a 0 in that loss column thanks to Brandon McManus splitting the gooch in order to kiss his sister in a 40-40 tie. The second highest scoring tie in NFL history. The highest being a 43-43 tie in 1964 between the Raiders and Boston Patriots. That's right, we waited all day for Sunday night. Watched 80 points scored across 70 minutes of football, and we were still unable to declare a winner. It was like the 2000 presidential election. Maybe we'll know more by January. My rule is that if at least 2 guys in the game have Guardian caps, and one of them scores 3 touchdowns like Romeo Doubs, then we don't have to worry about player safety anymore, and we can play until one team actually wins the game. Despite the unsatisfying ending, we got some excellent moments. We saw one of the best contested catches of the year from George Pickens, which sparked a 13-point run in a 32-second sequence to end the half for the Cowboys. Later in the second half, we saw Kevontae Turpin get his toes down on the sideline with one pair of shoes untied. Damn, the Cowboys did almost all of the cool shit in this one, didn't they? Dear Roger Goodell, let's do something to get rid of the ties, please. Whether it's more time or an untimed OT or a throw off by the quarterbacks, no one wants to spend 4 hours watching a thrilling game end without a clear winner or loser. Specifically me, who does a show every week called Winners and Losers. Also, if you were on the East Coast, NFL Sunday started at 9:30 a.m. and ended after midnight. If you watched every second, you deserve a medal. You're the winner.
I'm a winner.
Winning flip, Tua. Monday night, we had another doubleheader, and both games had terrible officiating. Jets fans are pissed off today, so let me remind you.
Pass.
I've got a coffee for bad officiating. It's called Fuck the Refs. It's great. The Jets were penalized 13 times. Benchwarmershop.com. Cincinnati had 11 penalties. Both teams lacked discipline, but both games, I think, were over-officiated. And I believe most Jets fans are pissed off about this hit on the Tua slide that was penalized. And I agree, his shoulder was barely touched as he went down. Even worse, though, was this phantom offensive pass interference call on Garrett Wilson. That is a crime, and I support jailing the official who threw the flag there. Losing ball security, Jets, a nice long Jets opening drive that was also riddled with penalty, ended with a fumble at the 3-yard line. I call that the slow burn A.D. Mitchell, but I'll give the winning peanut punch to Minkah Fitzpatrick there. The Jets lost 3 fumbles in this game, 2 on their first 2 drives, which was a much bigger issue than the Zebras. The Jets are now 0-4, and we have conclusive evidence about what coaching the Jets does to a man. You can see their souls leave their body on the sideline. What a change 1 week makes. Darren Waller scored his first TD as a Dolphin, a pretty incredible grab over Sauce Gardner, who said after the game he gets officiated unfairly.
I think I get called for more stuff just based off of us just not winning.
Sorry, Sauce, I'm old enough to remember when your dirty-ass holds cost the Broncos a win. Your defense has 0 takeaways this season, and 9 of your team's penalties were actually on the offense. Losing, injury, Tyreek Hill, who dislocated his knee and tore multiple ligaments as well. He's done for the season and possibly his career because his injury, very bad. Losing soundbite, After the win, Tua thanked God.
My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, just want to thank him for this victory, for us, keeping us safe for the most part.
Yeah, mostly safe, Tua. Your teammate's leg was bent the wrong way. His career might be over. Probably not the right time to thank God for safety. This is the worst endorsement for Jesus and his watchful eye since, I don't know, Waco and the Branch Davidians.
Pass.
Winning soundbite, Breece Hall in a Rolling Stones hat.
You know, teams will shoot ourselves in the foot, then we come back and shoot ourselves in the heads.
In Denver, this is apparently a false start, and this is an illegal blindside block. So yeah, again, F the refs. And also thank you, Troy Aikman, for keeping it real in the booth.
Nothing brings a broadcast to a screeching halt more than these yellow flags.
Losing hope, Bengals fans. Cincinnati's offense is terrible and Jake Browning needs to be replaced for his team to have any chance of surviving the season without Joe Burrow. It's not all Browning's fault. It's hard to succeed when your offensive line uses 4 guys to block 1 and 2 guys to not block 2. That's bad math. I watched a Bengals defense simply give up because they got nothing from their offense in return. Denver outgained Cincy 512 to 159 yards, and the Broncos dropped some huge plays in this game. Helena Troy Franklin, they should have had more yards. That's the most yards for a Broncos offense since the Peyton Manning era. The Bengals defense is so bad, Denver got their first 100-yard rusher in 38 games. J.K. Dobbins. I love you, J.K.
No tengo mucho decir. Perro, Bo Nix.
Losing stat, the Bengals had more penalties than first downs. Let that sink in. Just 9 in this game. And if you want to see what a wasted $250 million looked like, here you go. I feel bad for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. When I saw them on the bench together, all I could think about was doubling up this meme. Big win for the Broncos, though. 326 passing yards for God bless Bo Nix. Cortland Sutton had the most impressive touchdown grab in this game. Rookie R.J. Harvey found the end zone, and Pat Bryant gets my winning block to set the edge for Marvin Mims to run in for the score. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Winners and losers, our monster episode. Please subscribe here. Maybe we'll hit 800,000. Probably not, but who cares? We'll get it next week.